So those are some of the ways that we like to save money on our Disney trips. I have a full breakdown on our food. I kind of base it off of what I possibly would like to do for the day. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be going over our budget for our next Walt Disney World trip and kind of going over how I come up with the budget and just all of the cost breakdown of this budget. And later in the video, we'll go over some tips and tricks on how we save money for our Disney trips. So first things first, our hotel. So when we plan a Disney trip out, we plan them different every time. And this trip, we booked our hotel based off of currently we are trying to stay at all of the pet-friendly hotels with our dog. So this will be our third staying in a hotel this year with our dog. It's his third stay at Disney World, and we've already done Fort Wilderness, we've done Port Orleans Riverside, and now we are staying at Art of Animation. So that's kind of why we booked this hotel specifically for this stay, because we're working on that. But also, we've never stayed at this resort. We've been to this resort, we've explored it a little bit when we stayed at Pop Century a couple of years ago. It looks really cool on the outside, but to be honest, it's not that appealing on the inside. My family stayed in the Little Mermaid section, and that's the only rooms that are actually geared towards our size of family. They're just like your regular standard rooms. So the other rooms at this resort are geared towards family. They all look different, but they are suites. So some are car suites, some are the Lion King suites, and things like that. But the standard room size is the Little Mermaid. So that's what we're staying in. We're staying in the Little Mermaid rooms, and they're just very in-your-face Disney. Not really something that Wade and I care for, but it is a new resort, and we do like to check off new resorts off our bucket list, and because it's pet friendly, it was perfect. So that's kind of why we chose this specifically. So I do love a resort on the Skyliner Loop. I love a good Skyliner ride, so I am really excited about that because when we stayed at Pop, we really enjoyed doing the Skyliner. So we're gonna do more of that, and because my sister is gonna be coming on this trip, it's going to be really cool to show her around the Skyliner. She stayed at Art of Animation her first trip to Disney back in 2014, but there was no Skyliner. So this is going to be pretty cool. So she's not staying at a new resort, but she is experiencing some new things that Disney has offered since she's been there. So I think that's pretty cool. So I am kind of looking forward to this stay, even though the rooms I guess are to be determined as far as how we like them or not. And we'll share more about that later in this vlog series because we'll definitely do a room tour for you guys. But I just wanted to kind of go over why we planned that. So we base each trip off of kind of like what we're doing on each trip, but sometimes around the resort that we're staying at. And that's no different for this stay. So our resort for 4 nights is $1,062.11. So that is with taxes for 4 nights in September 2024 without a pet fee. So to add our pet fee, a pet fee is $50 a night plus fees and whatnot. And since we just were at Disney World a couple months ago, and it was a 4-night stay, it's going to be about $250 is what we're going to pay for 4 nights with our dog. So we'll spend about $1,312.11, give or take some change, for our hotel for 4 nights. So not too bad. It is a little bit more, about $100 more than when we stayed at Port Orleans Riverside back in May with our dog, and that's a moderate resort, and this is a value resort. It is the top of the top tier prices of the value resorts, but it is still considered a value resort. So we are spending just a little bit more than that, but that's all based off of like the offerings that they have at the different resorts. So we didn't really have a cheaper offering at this resort. They did have some for the suites, but we were still not paying close to $500 a night, plus a pet fee, just to stay in a suite. We didn't really need the room, so we didn't do that. But they didn't have any special offerings for special rates for the standard rooms. So that's kind of why it's a little bit more. And when we stayed at Riverside, there was a special offering for annual passes, and we did get our rooms for about $30 or $40 cheaper a night. So, but these resorts are very similar in price. So yeah. So that is our total that we're spending on our resort, and that's kind of why we picked this resort. So the next thing I will go over is travel. So we do drive to Disney World, and this is based off of our last trip. So we were here in May. We spent just over $250 on our gas for the round trip. So there and back, we spent just over $250. So I based it off of that trip. It shouldn't be much different. That was just a couple months ago. So I'm going to say about $260, give or take. $260 is what we'll spend on our gas, so our travel expenses. So I have a full breakdown on our food. So on our travel day, I have that we have a budget of $50. Now this is a little bit higher than we probably will spend because on our travel day, we're going to be leaving at nighttime. So we may grab like a little snack for dinner, snacks in the gas stations if we stop, and like coffees and stuff to keep us awake. So probably not going to spend $50 between Wade and myself, but I over budget pretty much everything for this trip because I really wanted to have a healthy food budget just in case. So we also have added a grocery pickup for our necessities that we like to keep in the room. So bottled water, maybe some sodas, sandwich stuff, some chips, and some fresh fruit or something, like crackers, just grab and go options. So I just estimated it to be about $60. So I've added that in there as well. So I will say when we look at kind of what we're going to spend on food, I like to talk with Wade about things that he may want to do on this specific trip, get his input, and then I will go on the Disney website over the couple of weeks before our trip and kind of look at the different menus. I'll also do a little bit more research on like Instagram and YouTube and stuff and just see like what are the new foods out there. Are there some new restaurants? Is there new food offerings? There's a lot of restaurants, like quick service restaurants that we like to go to that change out their menus often. So I do like to look at those, even though they may be places that we eat at often, they may have changed stuff on the menu. So I do like to refresh myself on those, look at the prices, kind of look at what we would probably eat for the day and just kind of over budget for that. So I will look at if there is alcoholic beverages that we may want to get that day. I just try to like plan out what we may want to do that day and just kind of over budget for that. So I'll get multiple coffees and different quick service options. I'll probably get the most expensive just in case. So when we're there at the park, we kind of have an idea of what we want to eat. It's not set in stone. We can do whatever we want, but we kind of know what the menus are, where our best value is, and where we kind of want to eat and what we plan for. So we kind of already know what our budget is in our brains. So if we buy less, usually we buy less. We know we're within budget. So I just like to overshoot, but I also like to refresh myself on the different menus and the different options so I kind of know what we're looking at. So our first day in the park, our check-in day, we are going to be spending the majority of the day at Hollywood Studios. So I gave us a decent budget based off of like going to Joffrey's in the morning for coffee and getting breakfast and getting lunch and maybe getting a couple of snacks. So I based it off of the different snacks that we would want to get in the park. And then going to Baseline, maybe getting some beers and then even getting dinner and just things like that. So I kind of base it off of what I possibly would like to do for the day and what Wade would like to do. And since we go to the parks often, we kind of know what we like to get. So I kind of already have an idea of what we're going to buy and just overshoot for that. So, I gave us a budget of about $100. I think it came up to be about $85, so I just kind of rounded up to 100 just in case. Probably won't spend that much, but you never know. And then our second day, we're going to spend the majority of the day at Disney's Animal Kingdom. So I think we might be doing Nomad Lounge. We did that a couple of trips ago and we really liked it. So I think we might do that. It is a little bit more expensive. We're going to want to try some different appetizers and we're going to want to try maybe some different non-alcoholic or alcoholic beverages. So I just gave us a decent, healthy budget for that. Also have coffees and even some snacks and stuff. And then that night, we're talking about going and doing like some resort hopping, trying different restaurants, different pool bars, maybe some drinks and food as well. So just kind of exploring, but also just getting different things when we hit up different resorts. So I looked at some menus at those resorts, and the food at the places that we're going to be visiting look really good. We've never eaten at the majority of these places, so I'm really excited about that. So I kind of really overshot for those meals just in case. So for the majority of the day at Animal Kingdom, about $100. And then I really gave us a really big budget just in case we wanted to drink some alcohol for the night. Gave us a budget of $125 for the night when we were resort hopping and just trying some different foods and beverages. So $225 for that day. It's a little steep, but we were originally planning on going and eating at a sit-down restaurant, and we would have spent just at least more than that. At least $130, $140 is what I had budgeted for the sit-down restaurant. So this is just kind of a little bit more of an experience. I thought it would be more fun than going sitting at one restaurant and being able to just check out some other places, especially for my sister because she's never been to any of these resorts and done some of these things. So I thought it would be really fun to like just change it up a little bit and show her around and try some of those different food options. So on our third day, we're going to spend the majority of the day at Magic Kingdom. Gave us a budget of about $100. Magic Kingdom is a very snacky place that we like to get. We like to share some stuff, but we like to get a lot of expensive snacks. So I just overshot and just said $100 because this will, like I said, count for any coffees, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks that we'll have for the day. And then Epcot is our fourth day at the parks, and Food and Wine is going on right now, and Food and Wine menus look so good this year. We didn't go to Food and Wine last year. We went the year before, and a lot of these menu options are different. So we haven't tried a lot of these things, and we're really excited to do that. So I really gave us a decent budget. Mind you, we were at the parks for a good portion of the day for Flower and Garden back in May, and we spent just over $50 between the two of us, and Wade got 2 beers. So I just kind of doubled it plus some for us to be there for the full day and to try some of these different drinks and food options for Food and Wine. So I just wanted to give us a really good budget for that. I feel like that'll probably be everything we eat other than our coffee that day is Food and Wine stuff. And then we have our travel home day, and then I think we'll probably spend somewhere around $50 because it is going to be the daytime, so we'll have to get coffees and breakfast and lunch and maybe even dinner because it is a long drive. So I've just factored in $50 for that, and that's probably about what we'll spend for that day. So in total, food, I have budgeted for about $710. And for the same length of trip we did in May, we spent just under $500 for our travel days and our 4 park days. But it was a little bit warmer. It looks like it's going to be a decent temperature for September while we're there. So we may not be as hot and uncomfortable, and we may be able to eat a little bit more, because I was a little bit disappointed that we weren't able to eat as much. So I do have it to where that's factored in. We may be a little bit more hungrier and have a little bit more of a stomach to be able to eat some more food. So $710 about the budget of food that we would like to have, and that's for food and drinks for the whole entire stay. So then we get to merch. I budgeted $100 for merch. There was only one thing that I really care to get for this trip, and it's a drawing of Remy on this trip. This is a little souvenir that he'll get. So that'll be $20-$30. And then I factored in if Wade and I wanted to get a shirt or something. Neither one of us have our eye on anything right now, but you never know when you're in the parks. There's tons of merch that you kind of get excited about. So I just threw in $100 just so each one of us, if we wanted to grab something, we could. So our annual passes cost $1,489.94 each, and that is something that we purchased ahead of time. So we purchased this before the year started, so it's already been paid for. So if you broke down our annual passes based off of the days that we spent in the park for the year, it would be 14 different days. So with that total price, if you broke it down into individual days, we're spending $106.42 per day per person. And so this is 4 days that we spent in the park. So that's $425.68 that Wade spent on his tickets, and then $425.68 that I spent on my tickets. So in total, if you broke it down this way, we would have spent $851.36 on our passes. So I factored it in that way because, yes, we did pay for park tickets. It just was all in one lump sum earlier in the year. So I like to break it down by the day that we use the pass, so it kind of shows you how much we spent on each trip. So for the total budget for this trip, travel, food, merchandise, our annual passes, hotel, pet fee, everything, it would be $3,233.47. So just a little bit more than what we actually spent on our last 4-day trip back in May. So like I said, later when we are done with this vlog series, we will go over our total cost breakdown and just kind of compare it to this budget that I made. And I think it's gonna be really cool to see side by side how I budgeted and then what we actually spent. And then I did want to add a couple of things, some like tips and tricks on how we save money when we're planning for a Disney trip. So we don't always buy annual passes. This year we bought an annual pass because it looked the best for our family. I wanted to do the marathon, and we wanted to bring our camper to Disney. We knew we would have a couple of other trips that we were planning for the year. So an annual pass this year made the most sense for our family based off of the discounts that you get on rooms and merchandise, and then just the park tickets in general. We feel like we got a really good deal. So with that said, I felt like the annual passes actually saved us a little bit of money this year. So that is one way that we sometimes will save. If it is a year that we don't purchase annual passes, sometimes we will get my brother to purchase military tickets because he travels to Disney a lot with us, and he could get military tickets for himself. So sometimes we will get those if we don't have annual passes. And then sometimes they have deals going on. So my sister's coming with us on this trip, and they actually have a deal on Disney's website currently to where you can get a 4-day base ticket for $99 a day. So it was like just over $400 with the taxes included that she's getting to go to the parks for 4 days. And that's a steal because the last time that Wade and I went to the parks, not with annual pass or with a military ticket, and we just got regular park day tickets, just one base ticket for Epcot, we spent $155 per ticket. So we spent over $300 for just for us to go to the parks for that one day. So the price of the regular day tickets can get quite expensive. So I will say, if you can't get military tickets, they're not offering a discount, and it doesn't make sense for you to get annual passes for your family. Sometimes if you stay longer at a Disney resort, you will get the tickets at a cheaper rate. So the longer you stay, the cheaper your tickets are per day. So sometimes that can save you money if you have longer trips. And I'm sure there's many other ways that you can save, but that's some of the ways that we will save on our park tickets. Another way you can save is getting Disney gift cards from different places that offer discounts. So we have a Sam's membership and we can get Disney gift cards with a discount on each of those. So not only when you purchase those Disney gift cards can you save up your money that way, but also you are saving a little bit each time you buy one of those at a discounted rate. So what we've noticed the past couple of trips is where they offer a special $200 Disney gift card where you could get it $10 off. So you're only paying $190 for a $200 gift card, and they usually have a max of like 5. So we've done that a couple of times this year, and you can only do it every so often on one membership. So we've reached our max of membership $200 gift cards this year, or at least for the time being. I think we've done it 2 different times this year. So I don't know how often they allow you to do that, but if you are planning well in advance and you see those, I would take advantage of them because you can, if you have a physical gift card, it's really easy to go on the DisneyGiftCard.com and you can combine those gift cards. So if you're wanting to use them in the parks, you can have a physical gift card and you can just load all of that or up to $1,000 on to one individual gift card so you don't have a ton. Or if you're wanting to pay for something like your room or race tickets or something, you can just put that amount of money on just one gift card so you can keep up with those online ones a little bit easier. And that's kind of what we do. We'll just like add them all into one gift card, and so we'll only have like one physical gift card and we only have to keep up with that one. So it's really cool and it's a really good way to save just a little money here and there. And then another way that we like to save money is we use our Disney Chase Visa on all of our expenses, daily expenses, weekly and monthly expenses, so we can rack up points. So we get 1 point per $100, and then you get a redemption card. So you will have points go onto your redemption card and that you can use at Shop Disney, and like all the Disney resorts, Disney parks, and basically anywhere you can use a Disney gift card, you can use your redemption card from your Disney Chase Visa. And sometimes they'll have different options to where you can get more points for different things. But that's something that we just use daily. And then we have a couple $100 here and there for each trip that we like to use for like food or to book a new trip or different things like that. So those are some of the ways that we like to save money on our Disney trips. It's just the small things, but they really add up, especially if you're already going to spend the money and you already have like a membership to Sam's or even like Costco and places like that that offer the discounted Disney gift cards. You can pay for your trip, you can pay for your food, you can pay for your basically everything but travel. You can use with those. So it's really cool. You can even buy merchandise before you go. It's just a really cool way to save just a little bit here and there. So that is our tips and tricks. That is our budget for this trip. We're really excited to get to Disney World, and we cannot wait to share with you all of the vlogs, all of the things that we're doing. And the next time you see us, we will be checking into our Disney resort. Thank you guys for following along, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.